Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be discussing 90 Day Fiancé Season 8 Episode 13 called Forgive But Never Forget. So I have recapped, not reviewed, I have recapped other episodes. The word escaped me. But I have recapped other episodes which will, some will be at the eye or at the end of the video. Down below in the description or just on my channel, so be sure to check that out and keep watching. Okay, thanks. So first up we have Jovi and Yara. So this is kind of like the aftermath of their engagement party, their little talk with his parents, and now I don't know if you remember, but in episode obviously 12, he had kind of mentioned that he actually only had about 2 weeks before he had to go back to work. So instead of their timeline being 6 weeks, it's now 2 weeks to get married. So Jovi's kind of being on his best behavior. He's showing her around, showing her, you know, the good parts about New Orleans so that she can kind of be more comfortable and stuff. And she's actually really liking it. I put she needed time and the ability to experience New Orleans and not with Jovi. You know, for the longest time she's by herself, or he's been, drinking a little bit, but it seemed like it was just a low-key, cool type of thing. And in this episode, Yara actually goes and tries on her dress for her wedding, and I don't know if you remember, but they're getting married in Vegas. So she goes and tries that on, and once again the mom's like, oh, why am I here? I'm not gonna be able to go to Vegas. And Yara finally relents and she's like, fine, you can come. And the mom was so excited. She was super excited. Also, Yara looked really beautiful in the dress. I think that's the dress she chose, but she looked really beautiful. And then so something happens. I'm not laughing about this part, but something happens. I believe Yara fell. And so she ended up going to the doctor, and it was like the night before that they were supposed to go to Vegas. So Yara says Jovi can go out, and at first she's like, oh, you can go out for like 2 hours, be back, don't get drunk. And I think you guys can all guess what happened when Jovi went out. He went out with two friends, and they were hitting every single place. And yeah, I think we can all guess what happens. Of course, Jovi says that it's his last night of freedom, so he has to go to his favorite and do his favorite activity, which is the strip clubs. And we had met his friend before. I wrote down Klein, but I don't feel like that's his. No, that might be his friend's name if I wrote it down. But his friend, one of his friends went with him, and his friend has like a wife and kid at home, and he was like, no, I'm not going in here, I'm going home. And I'm like, Jovi, you're kind of in the same boat. You're about to have a wife, you're about to have kids, go home. It's getting near to that time when Yara said she wanted you home. And I think we can all guess that Jovi did not go home. He went in there and he had a good time. And I know we can all guess how Yara is going to feel about this. Yeah, not good. I mean, his whole thing was, it's my last night of freedom, I should be able to hang out and do whatever, but he also already knows how Yara feels about the situation, so why would you test the waters? Why would you egg on the situation and like make it worse? And of course, when he's in the confessionals talking about this, he has like this smirk. I don't like it. He knows what he's getting himself into, so I guess just gotta live with the consequences at this point. Okay, so I believe in this episode, Amira has decided to go to Serbia. And my only thing with this is she is always putting the blame on Andrew, and I don't mean that I mean that in a negative way, but I guess we're not really seeing what is truly happening behind the scenes, like in confessionals and stuff. And she brought it up a little bit when after they had the talk with the immigration lawyer. But she kind of says that Andrew's always making these statements like, if you love me, you go here. If you love me, you do that. And as far as I can recollect, we never really get to see that play out. So evidently this is stuff happening behind the scenes. But, you know, even with her friends' warnings, her father's warnings, she's still going to Serbia. So my question is it all on Andrew at this point? Because she's had the experience in Mexico. She knows what could happen. So why still go? I guess, especially because after the talk with the immigration attorney, she was saying that she wanted to tackle the part about extending the visa, or something like, what, I can't think of the word, but extending the visa, like reapplying for the visa, or doing like a, jeez, the words won't come to me. Amending the visa somehow. Was that ever explored? Or, I mean, that's what I would do. There's no way I would be going to Serbia with COVID cases rising and then riots happening, or riots were happening. But she decided she wanted to go. She said she loved Andrew and she wanted to make it work, and going to Serbia was the way to do it. So, yeah, it couldn't be me at all. You're not getting your ring back either. I mean, I don't know if they would have to break up, but like I said, I'm sure there was another way. Well, the immigration lawyer said there was another way, but they just didn't. These guys, my goodness. Okay, so I really need to like do these videos. What? I'm blinking so much, my allergies are acting up. Sorry. Okay, back to what I was saying. I need to do these videos consistently each week because I jumped the gun last week. So Tariq and Hazel, they're fighting about the same thing that they've been having issues with since the beginning. What's happening? The whole girlfriend situation. So Tariq thought that it would be a good idea to bring in Minty as like a third party consultant about their relationship status, and it did not go well. Minty said some things. She was like, why can't you guys have me be your girlfriend? And then in a separate confessional, she's like, oh, I'm here if Tariq needs me. Like, I want to be with Tariq. So you're just confirming Hazel's fears, or Hazel's, reason for, I don't know. It was a mess. Yeah, I'm not really sure what way Tariq thought this would go. There's no way that it could have gone well. I mean, you already know Hazel doesn't like Minty. What advice could Minty have given that would be productive? Who knows? And then it seems like time like sped up with them, because all of a sudden it's 14 days to wed, and he went to go get his tux and with his friend, and his friend asked him a question, and it took a while, something related to Minty, and Tariq just took a while to answer. And it's like, why are you, I shouldn't say why are you second guessing, because you have to think about the fact that in normal situations people do have time to second guess an engagement, but this, it's a lot on an engagement, because the person is here. This isn't like a normal situation, and I know that, but I think I'm just now realizing that, because I know there's stipulations when someone's coming over with a 90 K1 visa, where it's like you have to sponsor them for X number of years and all this other stuff. But yeah, I mean, just like any other couple, they have the ability to pull the plug if they really want to. So, yeah. I mean, I guess we see. I wrote down at the end of this episode that the preview for episode 14, it just seemed like every single relationship was having issues, and you're just like, is anyone going to make it this season? Because it really didn't look like it, but yeah, I don't understand the whole girlfriend situation. I'm not sure how they're ever going to work through that, how they're ever going to come to some sort of understanding about how to move forward, because the last one didn't work. So I'm not sure the next one will either. Brandon and Julia. So they are like really getting ready for their wedding. COVID is still happening, but it seems like they still want to somewhat move forward with a wedding. They visited a beautiful church. Like a friend of the family had the church, but Julia seems to think that Brandon should be more involved with the wedding, which I understand that, excuse me, to some regard, but I guess she doesn't realize that one, he's not very interested, and two, it's not always customary for the men to plan the wedding, at least in the States. You know, a lot of men have this attitude of just show me or tell me when to show up and I'll be there. And she kind of made it seem like he had said that he would help out, and now he's not. So she's very taken aback, like, what is really happening here? Like, his mom is the one that tells her how many people are coming, and she was shocked about it. Like, Brandon, you didn't tell me this. Like, Betty's planning our wedding. And she's not very happy about that. In fact, she even says, like, they ask her how long, or she said something to the effect, like, the second time you get engaged, you'll be fine, or something. And he was just like, whoa, what is happening here? And, hello. Okay. So, if you remember a few episodes back, they were talking about they wanted the wedding on May 9th. And Betty was like, no, that's Mother's Day. It wasn't Mother's Day. No. Mother's Day was happening apparently the day after. It was just Mother's Day weekend that the wedding was going to take place. All this for nothing. And then later on in a confessional, like towards the end of the episode, Brandon is actually questioning his relationship with Julia all because of the wedding stuff. Like, you're not questioning, I don't know, I guess he's just surprised at how much she wants him involved, I guess. And he's like actually sitting there questioning his relationship. I didn't see that as a reason to question, but I guess because she's getting so upset at him not participating, I don't know. Like I said, all at the end of the episode, like, all the relationships are falling apart, and you're like, who is actually making it down the aisle this season? Because at this point, you really don't know. And okay, so I don't know if you remember in the previous episode, or previous episode, 2 episodes ago? I don't know. Anyway, Ziad has told Rebecca that they have to get married before Ramadan, or else they cannot stay in the same house. He's basically saying that Ramadan is very important and only married couples can stay together. And Rebecca was very taken aback by this because she was like, whoa. She mentioned that he never said this before, which I kind of understand. He's been there for at least a month, and he's just now bringing this up. So, and I think by this timeline, it's given them like 2 weeks to get married. So she said she wanted like the whole 90 days to sort of play out before they walk down the aisle, because in her previous marriage, she got married very quickly. So, and she kind of mentioned like, we've stayed together before when, you know, we met up before, and was like, yeah, but it wasn't during Ramadan. So, yeah. And like I said, I understand Ramadan is very big to his religion. But yeah, this needed to be a discussion before for sure, because then she could have planned it accordingly. Wait, hold on. Because now I'm thinking about the Mike and Natalie situation, where she had said that she had like X number of days to come to the US. So I'm wondering, when did he come does that apply to everyone? I don't know. Going on tangents, but somebody's gonna have to give. I mean, your options are either you stay in separate homes, which she's been hinting that like she can't afford it, stay in separate homes during Ramadan, or get married in the next 2 weeks. So who's gonna win here? Mike and Natalie. I am surprised you guys are still together at this point. I think we all are, because it's just issue after issue at this point. But when we see them in episode 13, they have 18 days to wed. You heard that right. 18. And Mike says he's not there yet. 18 days to wed and you're not there yet? He is really like cutting it down to the wire. I mean, also they celebrated Uncle Bo's birthday, which is very exciting. But 18 days to wed, that's no time at all. And then we see that Natalie decides to go dress shopping because coronavirus, if you remember, it hit like Washington State first and then trickled to everyone. So she decided to go dress shopping so she can get a dress before everything shut down. And she looked really pretty. And she was also able to have her mom on the phone as well. So her mom was able to see her in the dress, which was really nice. I don't think she bought anything, if I remember correctly, but it was a nice experience for her to be able to have that. And yeah, the end of this episode surprised me because, well, I have a question. Maybe someone can answer it. If you get to the end of the visa or the end of the 90 days and you don't get married, can it be reissued? Is that possible for you to get like an extension or another visa later on? If anybody knows, tell me down below. But also, Mike gave Natalie her ring back. And I know I wasn't the only one that was surprised about that, because I thought he wasn't there yet. But apparently he was. But then he kind of told her that she ruined it because she asked, "Do you forgive me about giving you the ring back when we were in Kiev?" And he said no. And he was like, "You ruined the moment." She just wants to make sure that y'all are on a clean slate. I mean, eventually, you know, it all worked out and she definitely got her ring back, but I was surprised to see the ring as well. But he looked happy, so that's all that matters, that they're both on a good page, ready for the next step. Well, it's either get ready for the next step or get going. So at the beginning of this season, Stephanie was with Ryan. Now it appears that she's trying to get with his cousin, Harris. First of all, Stephanie keeps calling this man Ryan, like consistently. She has called him Ryan a few times, and he just rolls with it. Good on him for rolling with it, but I would be highly upset. But that's just me. But then she said that she started having feelings for Harris, and I'm just so confused. And then she'll say things like, oh, I wish I met you first. It's his cousin. I don't know how you can get over that. It's his cousin. And y'all just broke up like 2 days ago, maybe a day. And you're already moving on to someone else. Not just someone else, but his cousin. How is that okay? I don't get it. And then she starts talking about how Ryan was in a See, now I'm calling him Ryan. How Harris was in a relationship and he has like 3 children. And she asked him the status of his relationship and he was like, oh, she's moved on, so I've moved on. So I guess, because I mentioned last time that he had a ring on his finger, and I think this episode it's off his finger, so I guess he's completely single. So yeah, but all I have to say about Stephanie is, why are you entertaining this? No, stop. It's not cool. Just cut it out. Yeah, no, it's his cousin, Stephanie. His cousin. No. I mean, she's already in it at this point, so. Thank you for watching this episode 13. Like I said before, other episodes are in the eye or on my channel. Be sure to check them out. Thank you again for watching. Bye.